What is up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men. I am your host, Edward Anderson. Today, this is someone that I am a fan of, living in North Carolina, seeing them play for the Carolina Panthers. See a lot of folks hated on him because even though he wasn't the first. Shout out to Cordell Stewart and people that came before him. Shout out to Michael Vick. He was definitely somebody that I think was a turning point as far as or a pivotal point, we'll say that, as far as the NFL quarterback. And I'm talking about Cam Newton. But unfortunately, this is one guy I don't want to put in here, but I got to put in the congratulations, you played yourself category.
Damn.
Because Cam Newton, I did a video with Willie D. Check the link somewhere here or at the end of the video so you can check that out. And this is kind of late, but Cam Newton straight up jumped out the window.
You have broken the chain and the covenant. You must be judged.
Cam Newton legit jumped out the window going at Jason Whitlock. And to be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of Jason Whitlock. I said that in a previous video I did with Willie D. I think some of the stuff he says is coonish. However, I do believe in, for the most part, evaluating people on what they say at that time. And the reality is, Jason Whitlock was saying some real stuff. Jason Whitlock is 57 years old. He's 57 years old. He's going to speak in kind of an old school era. He's an older Xer. He's an old, yeah, because I believe boomers. He's like a bleeding edge Xer or boomer. And he's going to speak in old school language. And although people are not used to hearing that on mainstream media, he's been able to irk out a living, irk out a show, speaking very frankly. And quite frankly, even though I don't agree with everything he says, I do think he can go over the top sometimes. I don't think he went over the top in being extra expressive in what he said in his commentary. And I'll link it in the description, but there's a video where he comments on Joy Taylor. I'll link that in the description. I'll give maybe a couple of seconds of what he said. You know, let's check out what he said really quick. Just so you can get the context.
Didn't like her is just because I knew myself. I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. And that big rack of hers that she showed off constantly, it's just, and that peanut butter skin with that big rack, like, Jay, keep your distance. That's going to get you into trouble.
All right, there you go. So like I said, I'll link the whole video, the whole segment. It's like an 8-minute segment, so you can get the context to that. But this is pretty much what Cam Newton is. This is pretty much what Cam Newton is talking about. And his commentary is based on this. And so let's, before I hit you on the other side, let's just hear what Cam Newton has to say.
Hey, Jason Whitlock. Hey, my guy. No, you're not my guy. Guy, come here. You're not that guy, pal. You're not. That big rack of hers, that's inappropriate. That butter skin, that's inappropriate. Like, bro, you're not that guy. So to comment on something like this, bro, stay in your lane. Whether Joy did what she did, the accusations are true or not, stay in your lane, Jason. All right? Because, bro, like, you're having an outer body experience, and it's time for me to put you back in your body to let you know, bro, you're not that guy, pal.
Damn.
So as you heard it, straight from Superman's mouth, Super Simp's mouth, I mean, however you want to call it, Cam Newton, and the energy behind like what he's talking about is, my thing is, Willie D was a little bit more measured in what he had to say, although he was throwing his punches. The thing about Jason Whitlock is black men have this thing where it is open season on him because certain commentary that he is given when it comes to black culture. And it's one of those things with a lot of these guys that's on this kind of side of it where they're conservative. Like, I'm conservative in a lot of ways. However, people do these things in a way that you can be used to let white people off the hook. And this is not about that, but at the same time, black people have this visceral anger towards black men that are like this. And quite frankly, Candace Owens has caught some of that flack too. So this can, although it's much harder, go with black women the same way as well. And so black men have this thing where they just think they can say whatever they want to say. And you got to couple that on the way Cam is looking at this is, oh, you're disrespecting a black woman. Because, it doesn't matter if she's biracial, she's black. The way they see it. And that's how they angle it. So he thinks he could just say what he wants because in his mind, saying she has cans, sexualizing her, saying peanut butter skin, Cam is looking at that as, hey, that's inappropriate. The reason why Cam kind of jumped out the window on this a little bit prematurely is because this is a lawsuit brought by another female that alleges that Joy Taylor is very much so was a part of the problem, and she was benefiting she was directly participating in and benefiting from a toxic environment that was causing harm to other people, mainly women. Not just this case, not just this person, this Persian woman. This is a class action lawsuit, so that means there's other plaintiffs here too. This is not being as forthright, but they are adding into the weave of evidence. They've alluded to that. That's what that means when they say certain things happen, and it was a certain commentary they gave. That's what that means. And um and so really understand, and nobody's saying it's a class, like the only person that mentioned it was a class action lawsuit was like Jason Black. And I'll probably link his video on the description too, because I think it's a really good video. If you're willing to put the time to hear it, just listen to it at 1.75 playback speed, because it's like 2 hours. He really goes page by page on what's said. But Cam Newton really thinks he can just go weapons free because he's a dude. He doesn't really have a strong female base. He really, a lot of black culture. This is a very inexpensive hit job to put on him. So Cam really putting that energy out here, like you really gonna do something. And remember, this is Cam that got jumped, as you can see right here. Cam got jumped. So is this the Cam that, was showing himself when those dudes just lost their mind that was working under you with your program? Is this the Cam that had them dudes? Is this the face of that you try to cover up? Like, for real, for real. Because ultimately, and I titled the video the way I titled it, and I put the thumbnail the way I put it for a reason. It wasn't clickbait. Jason Whitlock beat you in this argument. The way Jason Whitlock responded to you, 'cause that's really what this video is about. Not just what Cam said, but also the response, because he recently responded versus what he said. Yeah, that video's too late. And he basically responded saying, what do you mean by that guy? What do you mean by that guy? Do you mean, the guy that allows his penis to always get him in trouble? Do you mean the guy that that is not Christ-like? And brought up, and he basically went through. I linked that video in the description too. And he brought up the fact that Cam's dad was a minister. He brought up the fact that Cam, was raised in a two-parent home. He basically brought up the fact that you're upholding the way, and this is really smart how Whitlock went about it. He said you're upholding values that are not only not Christ-like, it's not even smart for men to have. And he repeated what he said. He said, what? That I said she has a rack, which Joy Taylor does. Joy Taylor has not denied sleeping with these people. Notice Whitlock didn't say allegedly sleep with Emmanuel Acho. Joy Taylor is not denying this. Joy Taylor has a marriage that she basically threw away. And so he didn't really call her out her name. He described her in how she presents herself. It's very few pictures you see with Joy Taylor. If you Google Joy Taylor right now, you will have to look for a picture that doesn't show her chest out there. She's presenting herself this way. And like, let's just call that what it is. And the other thing is, when people saying somebody's having an out of body experience, Jason Whitlock is commenting on a place that he has worked at. He has more inside information than most people talking about it. And he basically said, and the reality is, let's keep it real. Joy Taylor is probably one of the least qualified. Let's not even do it off the men, the women. Joy Taylor is one of the least qualified women to do that job. She's probably one of the least qualified melanated women to do that job. Let's just call that what it is. I challenge you, anybody in the comment section right now, if you think what I said, other than like what Molly Karam, I challenge you in the comment section to come up with some notable people. People like Rachel Nichols, Hannah Storm, Sarah Spain, Doris Burke, Carrie Champion, Jamel Hill. Like, seriously, come up with people we know, not somebody that they're on TV every once in a long while. That's got any kind of realm of TV time that she has. Like, any, it doesn't have to be exact. It could be in the ballpark, but don't give me no fly by night person. I challenge you to basically tell me somebody she's got more experience than, or that she does a better job than. I challenge you. She's probably one of the worst. I can't stand Malika Andrews, but probably Malika Andrews may do a better job. It's just where Malika Andrews aims it at that's the problem. But what do you think? Is Malika Andrews, which one's worse? Her or Malika Andrews? I'm curious to what you think. So the reality is there was nothing about what he said that was actually factually incorrect. So we're upset about how expressive the Jason Whitlock was. I get it. I can get why somebody could be mad at that. And you take advantage of that outrage. I can understand that. And so then it's just a matter of, is Whitlock going to stand on his square or not? And this is actually, and it's funny because there was a lot of red pill stuff in what he was saying. There's a lot of common sense stuff that was saying. Remember, I've always told you, there is no part of the red pill that doesn't operate in basic common sense. If it does, then it's probably not red pill. When you see someone that's very attractive at work, whether you can get it doesn't, let's say you can get them for free. Let's say you are that guy. You know who was that guy? Ime Adoka. Ime Adoka was that guy. And check this video out, and I'll put it in the end of the description so you can see how that turned out. Ime Adoka was that guy. You know who else was that guy? I'm gonna put this picture of his name because I'm blanking on his name right now. And he was at I believe the Good Morning America series. He got fired. A lot of black men that are that guy, they are able to, they're treated like pass arounds, but they're able to deal with a lot of women at the workplace. Understand, when the stuff hits, when Me Too came, they tried to use those quote unquote that guys, select men as we call them in our space, in order to get those people removed. Black men are not allowed to have that kind of power where you can just survive these things. They allow you to be that guy, so when it's time for somebody to get fired, you can get fired. Thankfully, Ime Adoka who's mixed himself, by the way, I believe he's half Nigerian, half white, was able to get another job with the Houston Rockets because he was able to perform. So whether you're that guy or not, I mean, Cam should know, just because he's quote unquote that guy doesn't mean these women don't stay coming at him. I remember when, what her name, Kayla Nicole, she basically, Travis Kelce used that as an excuse to get rid of him. So when people talk about that, remember when, what's his name, Simone Biles' husband, last name Owens, shout out to Chicago Bears. He even sniffed that he was that guy. People lost their mind. So just because you're that guy doesn't really mean nothing in the grand scheme of things when it comes to being here or not being there. And this kind of gynocentric soldier, maggle type of way, I mean, this ain't it, Cam. This really ain't it. So anyway, let me know what you think. This video has kind of gone on too long. Do you think Cam Newton is treated by black women in the sisterhood as being that guy? Do you think Jason Whitlock was speaking facts when he said, y'all got to stop letting your penis control you? Y'all got to stop bending to black women like that? One of the few people to actually acknowledge that. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think that Jason Whitlock could have gotten Joy Taylor? Because I said it on the stream. The reality is Joy Taylor was in the business of job advancement, and Whitlock was in a position to basically give that a reward. That his show is still standing. There's a reason for that. Now compare Jason Whitlock to Emmanuel Acho, who removed that post congratulating Joy Taylor. Well, if it was real, and it was genuine, why did you remove it? If she's really that qualified and benefit, why did you remove it? So let me know what your thoughts are here. As always, if you got here, if you got this far, type in super simp for Cam for me, and make sure you check in with a like, check out with a comment. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can get these videos first. I like to do premieres. I like to be in here for the premieres in the chat in case y'all want to get my thoughts on the video. I won't always do that. Make sure y'all hit up the Patreon. Content is going up on the Patreon. The Patreon is free right now. I probably got a deal running right now for early adopters, you know, at the time of this video being launched. And make sure you check out my Discord. All the links in the description. If you got this far, I do appreciate it. So again, put super simp for Cam Newton. And with that being said, this is Edward signing off. Peace.